So this happens to be a 13 millimeter. There shouldn't be any oil. I got a rag and a small tray to catch. I just siphoned it off. Oh, that was really tight. Oh, I forgot to put gloves on. Good. I will put a new washer. This thing, you know, this is a crush washer. It could have been reused. It's possible. It was quite heavily torqued and it was probably leaking around that. And this is my lug bolt, drain plug. I'll clean that off, make sure it's spick and span. There's a hole there and there's a crack right there. Interesting. I'm gonna clean that off too before I replace. There's like a crack in this pan right here, right at the tip of my fingernail. And there's a hole right there. So that's intriguing. I wonder if that is why they try to really clamp down on the bolt, because oil was probably leaking right there. Fascinating. Let me see if I could take you in and give you a closer look at what I mean. You see that crack right there? Yeah, and there's a hole. Yeah, see that hole right there? And that crack. So that's interesting. I'm going to reuse the same drain plug. I have a new copper crush washer. And so what I'm going to do to test if this leaks is I'm going to put a couple quarts of oil in and then see if it leaks. So I tighten that generally with just my socket wrench until it really doesn't move anymore, because it's basically compressing against this, right? So if you just over tightening it, you could have a chance of damaging the bolt and the threads. The specified tightening torque is 25 Newton meters. I have it set mine to 26.4. I can even do 25.7 Newton meters. Now, I could add a couple more Newton meters just to see what that does. Yeah. See, I already used my torque on my socket, and I got to 28.1. Next up is working on the oil level sender, and it's right here. And I think it might be, I'm gonna start with a 10 millimeter. Let's see if that's it. Well, maybe. Okay, let's try 9 millimeter. First I'll try 10. 10 looked like it fit, but let's just try 9. Yeah, 9 is too small, so that was a 10 millimeter. Be using a 10 millimeter deep socket. I do have to remove this plug, disconnect it. I will just sort of move that up out of the way. I made an adjustment on my viewing angle of my camera so that you can get a better view of this, and I can also get my hand in because the camera was in the way. Thank goodness that wasn't very tight. Gonna keep an eye out for any washers or O-rings. It looks like I have a washer on this bolt. I was able to loosen this with my finger. You can see here, just loosening that up. Pardon the view of the back of my hand, but I'm just unscrewing this bolt. Again, a washer. And then I'm gonna pull up and down. We got some oil. And this is what an oil sender unit looks like. There's some oil right here. Oops. There's oil inside the sender unit. Okay, it's coming out of that hole there. So be mindful of that, audience. And it was probably leaking from inside there. So I'm going to reuse the bolts for illustrating. So there's an O-ring in here. That's going to get replaced. And I don't see any other O-rings. Side-by-side comparison of the new oil level sending unit and the old one. So we're going to see there's only one O-ring inside there. And that O-ring is in the same spot there. And there were no O-rings or other or washers attached to this unit. There is a black O-ring on this side. There isn't one here, but I have that part and we're going to put it in. Okay. The next step is to install the new O-ring onto this new sending unit. And it's going to go in that groove right there. And it goes in, it's going in pretty easy. It's kind of loose. There's no tension. But remember, when I put it in, I have to be careful and mindful that it doesn't get cockeyed, right? So it's going to rest in there just like that. To clean the outside, I'm using a lint-free cloth that I sprayed with starter fluid. The ether is sufficiently strong to wipe any oil. It evaporates really completely, so there's no residue. Now on the inside, it's a different story. I'll be trying to roll the tip of my rag. I've got another cleaner. It is a electrical contact cleaner. And I'll just spray that in there. There, all clean. All right, the next step is I'm going to put my new sending unit in. Alrighty. Now I just have to make sure the O-ring stays in place. Okay. I'm only going to finger tighten it. I'm going to make it even so the O-ring compresses evenly. So on this side, I have to use the short one, and on the right side, I need to use a deep socket because this hose I couldn't find the torque settings. I'll try 18.9. Wow. Like 15 Newton meters. I think that's as tight as it's going to need to be. And then I plug this in. Okay. That is it. My oil level sending unit has now been replaced with a new one. New O-ring, torqued it to about 15 Newton meters. This one here is actually a little bit marginal. I think the aluminum casing might be over tightened. My drain plug, I replaced it with I just put a new crush washer, cleaned it. I did notice a crack, so I'm hoping there's no leak there. The pan has been emptied because I did withdraw oil, and now it's time to put fresh oil in, and I'll keep an eye on the leaks and see what happens.